Hi guys, Eric Sargent, General Manager at Ed Martin Toyota in Noblesville, Indiana.
Hi, I'm Ryan, Master Diagnostics Certified Technician with Ed Martin Toyota.
And today Ryan's going to do a complete video install of the brand new 2.5-inch DIO lift kit for the 2026 third generation Tundra.
Let's get started. Holy mother of God. All right. Cool. All right, so going from right to left here, we have our 2.5-inch lift front TRD tuned Bilstein full shock assemblies with springs. We have our extended TRD axles here. We'll come around here and check these guys out. We got our extended upper control arm. It's going to correct our alignment angles once we're done putting our 2.5-inch lift kit here on. In this box here, we got our extended brake lines, spacers for your bumper, some things to bits and pieces, fill in, put some new axle nuts on there, some new hardware on our new parts. We have our front stabilizer bar extensions here for both sides. We got our front bump stop extensions here as well. In these two boxes here, we got some rear 2.5-inch extended travel shocks, also tuned by Bilstein. Go and pull these out of the box. Look at that. So we have our 2.5-inch lift TRD shocks here for the rear. In these boxes here, we have extended tie rods. That's also going to correct our alignment angle when we're done, as well as some hardware and some rear spring spacers for the rear shocks. Oh, sorry. For the rear springs. That should be it for parts. We'll go ahead and get this thrown on. Yeah. We'll probably start with our fronts here. So we're going to be replacing our upper control arms, our shocks, our axles, and our tie rods here in the front, as well as some extremities, brake lines, extending our wires, stuff like that. So now that we got our lower control arms out, our stabilizer bar out, we're going to go and take our axles out, shocks out, upper control arms out, go and rebuild it from the top down. When we change the angle of the suspension and we lift it higher, we're going to need some length of that brake line. So right now we're swapping out for longer ones. So we got about an inch longer there. So that'll stop it from stretching when we get our suspension travel incorporated in there. Alrighty, so we got our new brake line temporarily installed right here. Just to stop that from leaking a little bit, we're going to move on to our upper control arms, our tie rod ends, and pulling our axles out here. And then we'll get to throwing some new parts on here. All right, so here we got our OEM Toyota Bilstein shock here. Here's our TRD Bilstein shock. As you can see, we got 2.5 inches of extra length here on the shock shaft. So that's what's going to give us our extra lift here, as well as a little bit longer travel spring. It's going to be have a little bit better rebound as well. So we'll go ahead and get those thrown on once we get the upper control arms on. Okay, now that we got our knuckle out of the way, gonna swap our upper control arms out, swap our axles and our outer tie rods here. So these are gonna get about an inch longer, correct our toe adjustment here. These are gonna be extended travel as well to compensate for the 2.5 inch lift we're gonna put on here. And these upper control arms will be a little bit longer, as well as be able to extend a little bit further down to correct our alignment angles for the shift that we're about to put in here. So let's get started. Alrighty, so we got our OEM upper control arm here. So this is the one that comes on the truck. Here's our TRD one. So if we lay these on top of each other, if you come over here and look, you can actually see. So this ball joint sits a little bit further up and to the right. So that's going to correct our caster and our camber for our lift. So when we put these on and get it on the alignment rack, we'll be able to see a visible difference between these upper control arms and these upper control arms. So we're just changing the pivot points of our front suspension here a little bit with our lift to make sure everything still lines up when we're done. Let's get it thrown on. So we're going to leave this hand tight for now just to make sure all of our alignment angles are lined up, all of our bushings are in the right position when we torque everything down. We're just going to leave this like that for now. We're going to replace our axles and our outer tie rods here. Then we'll get putting it back together. Okay, so here is the tie rod we just took off of the truck here. So this is your normal Toyota OEM tie rod. Here is our TRD tie rod here. So if we compare the lengths here at the ball joint, you can see our TRD one about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch longer. So that's going to correct our toe when we go ahead and put this back together. So I'll go ahead and get these put on the car. Both the left and the right are going to get these guys, and then we'll see a difference once we do our alignment. So our improved outer tie rod system is just going to replace this set nut, so that's helpful. Again, if you're on a trail or you're off-roading, you slide into a bump, that can mess up your toe as well as your camber and your caster on your alignment. So this helps beef up this inner tie rod here that can be vulnerable to bending if you hit a bump. So that helps beef our inner and outer tie rod and our steering rack up for our lift. So a big difference here between our OEM axle that we pulled out of it and our TRD axle will be the travel. So at first glance, you can see they're about the same length, but we do have quite a bit more travel in our TRD one than we do in our normal axle. So this will compensate for the 2.5 inch lift that we're throwing on here today, so that we don't have any stretching here in the boots or any disengagement here in the joints of the axle. So we should be able to accommodate for all of that with that extended travel in this joint here. We're going to throw that in the car. There it is. All right. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3. All right, all of our stuff is on. This is post-installation here, so we got our new TRD upper control arm installed, as well as our extended travel axles and our extended tie rod ends here. So next step here is getting our knuckle here on the ground back in here, getting all of our alignment angles lined up, getting everything torqued to what they need to be, and putting it back together with some new parts in it, including our new shocks. So these are our bump stops for our front lower control arms here. So they go right here underneath that frame extension here. So this is our old one versus our new one here. So it comes with a jounce spacer here. So we'll put that on. That'll drop the engagement of our bump stops down to help assist with that lift kit there. So we'll go ahead and put these on. And that will help with our suspension not bottoming out when we put this lift kit on. Alrighty, so this is our OEM lower ball joint mount. So this is the bracket that bolts from the lower ball joint right here up to our knuckle, which holds our disc brake here. So the difference between these two is pretty striking. So we have a little bit of a thicker one, drops the ball joint angle down just a little bit, as well as a beefier interaction angle here with our frame and our lower control arm. So as this pivots, these two little spots here will bump up against our suspension. So we want to make sure these are wider so we don't scrape any material off here. So that is our new TRD lower ball joint bracket. We'll go ahead and get this put on, and that should correct our lower ball joint angle. Alrighty, so this is what we got here together with our TRD 2.5-inch lift kit here. I'll go and give you a rundown of what we're looking at here, what everything does, and what we've changed. So our upper control arm here first, this is extended, and we've changed the ball joint position a little bit to correct for our alignment after we finish up our lift kit here. So we should have OEM alignment readings just 2.5 inches higher. Here is our TRD tuned Bilstein shock here. This is 2.5 inches taller as well. This is what we're going to get our lift from. So we got a little bit taller spring, a little bit more rebound length, as well as our shock shaft being longer. So we're going to get our lift from here. Should be a little bit more travel as well. We have our bump stop here that we've extended about 1.5 inches, including this little spacer. So that comes with the kit as well. We have our brake line here that we have not installed yet, but this is 1 inch longer to account for the lift. We have our tie rod reinforcement here. So this is our inner tie rod sleeve that we put on here that saves it from bending if we ever hit something while we're off-roading. This guy is not going to bend or change alignment angles as easily. We have our extended travel TRD axles in here as well. This comes with the kit. A couple other extremities here. We got a drop-down kit as well for the lower control arm to make sure everything else is correct as far as angles go. Camber caster, that'll change that as well. So that bracket we put on. Other than that, we're going to go ahead and drop our ride height sensors down to make sure those measure the same, and our wheel speed sensor harness as well. Not on yet, but we will get that on there. There are a couple drop down brackets we're going to be putting in. Other than that, everything is looking really good. We'll go and get started on the right front, do this thing again. All right, so now we're coming back to the rear here. We're going to be putting spring spacers, extended travel shocks, some bump stops, some extended brake lines on the rear as part of this kit. So right here we have our old bump stop and our new bump stop. As you can see, quite a bit longer there. So that will accommodate for the 2.5-inch lift we're putting on the rear as well to level out with the front. So we'll go ahead and get these guys on and get started on putting those spring spacers in and those shocks. Part of this TRD lift kit, you're going to get a rear spring spacer. So this will bolt up between your frame and the spring right up here. We'll keep our OE rubber insulator and our OEM spring. We'll just lift up the operating angle of that just a little bit. Here is your OEM Toyota Bilstein TRD off-road spec shock. And here is our Bilstein TRD shock. This is a little bit different dampening. Travels a little bit longer as well to compensate for that lift. So we're going to go ahead and pop our OE springs in with these spacers installed. We're going to go and put our new shocks on, move on to the other side, and put some brake lines in it.
Okay, so this is the 2.5-inch TRD lift kit. The beauty of this lift is it is available as a factory installed option or a dealer install option. This particular one was done here at the dealership. It's a fully comprehensive lift kit with over 44 parts, not just shock strut springs and upper control arms. It also has various little parts, longer bolts, longer brake line extensions, different bump stops, and various other components to maintain the Toyota longevity and quality. Also, when the lift kit is fully installed, when it's on the alignment rack, there is a Tundra with and Tundra without the TRD lift kit option. So when you drive it on the alignment machine, all the specifications are going to be in the Hunter alignment machine already. And that's a wrap on our dealer installed 2.5-inch TRD lift kit for this third generation 2026 Tundra. If you guys have any interest in doing this yourself, we do sell the part only on parts.edmartintoyota.com, and if you would like us to install it to maintain the factory warranty and save some shipping costs, we'll also link to our scheduler below. If you have any comments, please ask in the comment section below, and please click and subscribe to the channel for future Tundra content.